No, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Please stop following me. Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me.
Imagine living like that every day, except the person is, she goes home and she's fine. She moved. This guy's not going, where she is. He's now chasing her family. Stalkers often stalk family, and they often use the family to stalk. Stalking is a felony in the state of Oklahoma. So I've been having to deal with this for now 13 years. My initial complaint to my friends in Facebook messages, as everybody has seen over and over and over and over, is Mr. Perry was coming up behind my house, watching me in my backyard, creeping me out. He tried to kiss me in a room full of people. Then I went to his manager, Jordan and Ben Campbell, who I guess did 6 months in jail for fraud or something. I don't know. The response was not, thank you for not going to the media with this and hurting him. It was not that. It was, you wouldn't want this to run your business, would you? Threats immediately. Mr. Perry would have his staff or family come to restaurants or bars where I would go hang out. And if they didn't see me there, he'd go personally. So since I've been in Oklahoma, I moved twice. I moved to Dallas to get away from him. And then I moved again to Oklahoma to be with my family and get away from him and not have to hear what he thinks or how he feels or what he needs. And I want to lie. But I'll tell you what, if you really want to attract the opposite sex, you do what the opposite sex likes. You don't ruin their life. You don't take everything they care about and ruin relationships and take their money and starve them and deprive them of food and shelter and try to force them against their will to be trafficked and sold to some weirdo in Houston who can't get a date the normal way. You don't try to make them fail at everything they do. So some time ago, I announced that I had a 3.9 GPA in college while going through this. While Mr. Perry's trying to ruin my life. Day after day, it's always something. False arrest. He did the false arrest. Constantly threatened death or false arrest. Every fucking day. Now it's kidnapping. Now it's kidnapping too. So, this has gone on and on and on and on. And he'll get caught. I want to know how many times he and Calvin and Joe and Lucius and David were caught before they did this to me, and how many times after. Because I have help. Big, huge, powerful help. And they've called all over. They've called LAPD. They've called NYPD. They've called. Now today they had a meeting and they all sat and said maybe it's the Navy. She seems to like the fish. I do like fish. These are military ecumenicals. It's all about God and country. They don't want our bribe. They don't want to lie. She won't take the bribe. She won't be trafficked. Calvin's been recorded over and over. She just ain't broke enough yet. When she have nowhere else to go, then she'll leave Oklahoma. But the thing is, what's it to you? What business is it of yours where I live? No one's bothering you. You're bothering me. All of you. I'm not doing a fucking thing to you. In fact, this last couple of days, if you notice, there's no podcast because I'm trying to ignore you. I have other shit to do. I work. I'm in school. I have, other things that I like to do. I like to keep myself in shape as much as I can. I like to do normal things normal people do. I like to shop. I like to go out to eat. I like to hang out with people that I care about. I don't want to be bothered with having to deal with your problems and your drama, and I need this and I want that, and my crime, cover it up. And it's the more you chase the lie, since you've known me, the more truth we get. And you guys are stupid and can't seem to get the correlation, cause and effect, same and different before and after. It's different when you do the crime to me than any other victim you've ever had. But it's the same every time you do it. I'm quoting your meeting again this morning. Mr. Perry, do you like to get caught? Because you have nothing else to show for 10 years of your life but that. You are not owed a lie. You're not owed trafficking. You don't get to traffic humans. It comes with a life sentence. We all want for you to be gone. Too weirdo, too creepy, and too many problems. All of you. So we can get information like that. And you can't. Everybody's so sick of you. And you fucking don't get that. Everybody's sick of all of you. So some time ago, I have a 3.9 GPA while I'm going through them, trying to take my home, trying to get me fired, trying to get me kicked out of my home, trying to get me starved into a lie. And subjugated, as they put it. They are misogynist. They hate women. That's the hate crime, Mr. Perry. We hear Mr. Perry was trying to claim that he's a victim of hate crime. And he was asked, are you gay? Are you trans? No. Well, then there's no hate crime. Besides that, I don't think she hates gay or trans. I think she hates your stalking. I think she hates abusive men. I think she hates what you're doing to her because it's a crime. People don't like crime, genius. So where's the hate? The hate is you. Are you gay? Are you trans? Because maybe you need to establish that now. Are you? If you are, then say that. Okay? I have friends that are gay. I have friends that are trans. They don't act like you. They're very kind people. They're very fun to hang out with. I have no problem with people who are gay or trans. So, if you're gay or trans, first of all, I'm not sure on that. You need to tell us. Second of all, you hate women. Because no sane man who likes the company of a woman will do anything to hurt her or violate her. It's a power control. Mommy humiliated me, and I'm going to take that out on all women. I'm going to watch you in the privacy of your home against your will and use your body for my pretend love life because I don't have a real one. You're all alone in that deal, man. You're all by yourself. No woman is sitting on your lap. No woman wants to. You and Houston guy and, realtor traffic guy who thinks he bought me. Neither one of you. Neither one of you have a real love life. There's no woman sitting with you. There's no woman trying to sit with you. I've tried, Mr. Perry, 11 times to get a judge to make you leave me the fuck alone. You're about to get one that is. You're about to get one that is. What did my guys say? The guys that tell me everything you said. Gave me the Fabian puzzle in jail. What did they say? Long ago. March 2020. How long ago was that? 3 years ago. You're not to invade her privacy and watch her in her house anymore. And they know you are. And so does the judge that signed off on an investigatory order of some sort, sir, that allows them to get what you just said. Okay? He knows as well. He saw the probable cause to search it and see your hacking and see your Peeping Tom problem. It is a disgusting, vulgar violation of my body, my privacy, my rights. I have the right to privacy. You don't have the right to invade it. You don't break into my home, ruin and rape and tear everything up, and then tell me to leave my home. Get the fuck out of my life. Get the fuck out of my home. Get the fuck out of everything. Because the longer you're bothering me and you're violating me and you're raping me and you're robbing me, the more caught you guys get, all of you. We got your names. Lucius, Calvin, who's bald and fat. Sonjay, your hacker. Geppetto, your witch. You trafficked me. Most of your victims don't know that before. You trafficked me to a guy in Houston who's a realtor. That comes with a life sentence. It's a very serious, sick, fucked up, twisted crime. And if you care about somebody and you want romance with them, you don't do shit like that. So I think you going around telling everybody this was about a romance, I think you got people want to hit you because you've insulted their intelligence. You don't act like that if that's what it's really about. Stop with the bullshit. Stop with the bullshit. Houston guy, it's not going to happen. I don't know how many different ways I can say that, sir. We've heard you talk, if she changes her mind and she this, then I'm going to do X, Y. No, listen, I'm not going to change my mind. And the more you say that, the more I have to listen to it, the more pissed off I get. I said, no, you're coercing, and that's illegal too. All of you. All of you. Stop it. Or he's going to do it for you. So you already have a judge, Mr. Perry, that's very familiar with your activities that are illegal. It doesn't matter what lie. You go into Judge Parker and you lie, we're going to prove you went into her court and you lied. Kirkendall was smart enough to get it. She said, I think that you're doing what her email of 2017 says. That says when she was in jail from the first false arrest, we're going to send her home, harass the ever-living shit out of her, violate the fuck out of her. I'm paraphrasing. And then when she complains about it, we'll say she's harassing us. That'll shut her up. We'll make an example of her and nobody will talk ever again. These women we rape and rob and ruin and abuse and sell like they're slaves. It's a free country. You don't like it? You don't like that? Go to another country. Fucking go to Iraq if that's what your thing. Misogyny is a hate crime. You're the hate, not the women. I'm sorry your mother abused you, or didn't pay attention to you, or didn't breastfeed you, or didn't whatever. Boo fucking who? Guess what? The rest of us in a civilized society, 99.9% of the population in the world is not a violent offender, abused or not. You simply cannot fucking keep up with everybody else. You and Houston Realtor Guy, both of you. And Lucius, and Calvin, and David, and Joe, and Geppetto, and Sonjay, Beverly, Kate, Dickie, Richard, James, Ruben, Lawrence, Jeremy, Brian. Right? Did I miss anybody? If we have names, we've got your code words. Papa John's is to make delivery of a victim. Hansel and Gretel is to lure someone. Like you keep trying to get me out to the club. Sensations, right? What do you care? You've gone into Judy's court and under oath and penalty of perjury, 5 years minimum per count, claimed you're not doing what we say, and yet you push me and push me and push me. Leave. What's it to you where I live? You don't break into my home, motherfucker, and rape me and rub me blind and scare me from going to work. Or these guys helping me tell me it's going to be dangerous. They're going to do X, Y, Z to you. Sit it out. And I know you're hungry, and I know you're tired of asking for money. It won't be long, and you won't have to do that ever again. And you won't be hungry ever again. You will never be broke again. Hang in there a little bit longer, because we're going to get all of them. Every single one of these bitches that are misogynist and hate women. Charles, do not contact me the fuck again. He said in 2020, you are not to invade her privacy anymore. Do not contact her or her family again. Not in any form, not directly, not indirectly. Don't contact them, any of them. She's not to be broke anymore. Get your fucking hands out of her wallet, or I'm going to do it for you. How much more have we gotten since then? Because since that time, we got your code words. Hansel and Gretel are to the club. Hansel and Gretel means to lure someone to a location where you're going to commit a crime against them. Papa John's is making delivery of a trafficking victim. Rapunzel is, did we coerce her into finally going along with this? Did Rapunzel let down her hair? See, who else has that? Any other victim have that? I have it. How did I get that? When you fuck with me, you get caught. When you fuck with me, you get caught. How many years I've been saying that? How much more did we get since 2020? And then he said it again July 2022. And you flipped him off. You gave him the finger. And you had me kicked out of my hotel. And you took everything I owned, Lucius. We know you did that. She just ain't broke enough yet. My life is not your business, Lucius or Calvin, who's bald and fat. And one of the most hated men I've seen in a while. You and Charles, all of you. But you, Calvin, in particular, because you're an asshole, I hear. Our guy's got a call. This one is a bitch. This one picks on women like a motherfucker. It's awful to watch. I can't watch it. It's awful. It's horrifying. He's the one getting her car. Constantly going at her car. Him and David. But Charles too, but those two Calvin's the main one that execute. Go poke a hole in her tire. Right? Aren't you the one that does that? Go ruin the engine this way or that way. Run her off the road. When it's wet, we'll make it look like it's a hydroplane. Right? And so guess what? I couldn't go to work. I had to stay home that night. Because my guy said, they'll run you off the road. You stay home. We need you to testify. You're our witness. He's trying to kill you. He's trying to take your car. She just ain't broke enough yet. And they got you recorded, Calvin. Who has those recordings? So again tonight, now my grade, while I'm going through all this, like legit 1 minute, trying to keep from dying or getting murdered. Stay sexy and don't get murdered. While I'm trying to not get murdered or not let them take my car again or cause a problem, I got an essay due or I got homework due. So they jam up my computer. So it's not like I'm doing the homework wrong. I can't even do it at all. And so they did it then. So my grade drops to 3.659. It's kind of gone back and forth between 3.6 and 3.59, which still is pretty good in spite of. And 9 times out of 10, I don't have time to crack a textbook. So imagine how much better it would be if I had time to actually read the textbook. So they did it again tonight. I'm supposed to have a group assignment. I can't get into the group. So that's been duly noted for the record that you guys caused that. There's the thing called proximate cause and causation. I tried to explain that to the Tulsa police officer who pulled me over. This is a crime, and here's how that is. And I explained it to him. You heard a proximate cause? You heard a causation, officer? Yeah. Let me go write your ticket. Oh my God. Jesus Christ in heaven. Wow. Wow. Thank you for protecting me and serving. Here's the thing. When you go to be a police officer, and you know I know this, I come from 4 generations. My granddad was the chief in the town where I grew up. He was the power, you bitch. In the town where I grew up. Kirkendall was smart enough to say, it looks like you're doing the things that are in that email. I need you to leave her alone for a couple weeks so I can rule out entrapment and provocation. Because it looks like you're entrapping her. You're provoking this. You're the proximate cause. You're the causation of what's going on here over in Oklahoma where I can't see. There's 5 of you. There's Matt Powell. There's Charles Perry. There's Joe Chadwick. There's David Robertson. And there's Joshua Burson. I don't know who all is involved in David's life or Joe's life. They're in Oklahoma. Who'd they hire? Who do they work with? Why is Charles always in Oklahoma and never in Lubbock? People are starting to talk about that too. When's the last time you saw Charles? I don't know. It's been a long time. I thought you guys were good friends. Well, we are, but you haven't seen him in how long? I don't know, a year or 2. And what about with his wife? Even longer. Why? Well, do you know where he is? No. Don't you think you should know where he is? Well, you'd think I would know where he is. Right, because you said you're good friends. I'm quoting somebody else. When I use third person, I'm quoting somebody else. And the guy says, he's in Oklahoma. Pretending. He's up there pretending. He's walking around with an entourage. Telling everybody 1 minute, Cynthia's a threat to him. And then they start going, well, but you're not in Lubbock where you live, where it's safe. You came where she is. And you got an entourage of Texas Rangers like you need protection or something. Why are you doing that? Because if you're where she is and she's a threat, I'm thinking maybe she's not that much of a threat after all. But the thing is, you walk around with your entourage of Texas Rangers telling everybody you're a senator and they think you're important. They don't know any better. You know how I know all this? Because that was the thing in Manford. And I'm going, why in the fuck do you guys think he's important? He said he's a senator. He said he is. And I said, he said that he's important. He said that. Yeah, he told us. He was here. You talked to him. And he told you he's an important senator. Yeah. Oh my God, no. No. You see, I used to do federal government reform, and I was around Senator Harry Reid, second most powerful guy in the United States of America. I lived in Nevada. I lived in Las Vegas. He was the majority leader in the Senate for a while, then he was the minority leader for a while. People, by the way, misunderstood him. The people in Nevada knew this about Senator Reid, because Nevada at the time was a red state. It was very conservative. Now, when California taxes went fucking sky high, a hell of a lot of people moved from California to Vegas. Now it's purple. So it's got some things that are Republican, some things that are Democrat, depending. But at the time, for 20 years, there was a Republican governor, and there was like 2 Republican senators. I'm sorry, 1 Republican senator, and then Harry Reid, who was, by the way, Mormon, pro-life, and pro-gun rights. Because if he weren't, he would never have been elected. It was a red state. Clark County, Las Vegas, was the liberal county. The rest of the state was very conservative. So for 20 years, there was a Republican governor. Then, just as of late, recently, they got a Democrat governor. I believe now, though, they're back to Republican. I'll have to check. I don't live there, so I haven't really checked, but I heard that they now have the Democrat guy lost. I think he overdid the COVID closures. And the mayor of Las Vegas is actually in the movie Casino, or was. The former mayor, now his wife, Mayor Goodman, is actually in the movie Casino. He was a mob boss attorney, and he was the attorney for the Sam guy who the movie depicts. His real life is the names are changed, but it's a real true story. And I want to say Sam Rothstein, but he's got a real name in the movie name, and I always get it mixed up. The Robert De Niro guy. So Mayor Goodman was an actual lawyer for the mafia, and then he became the mayor, and now his wife is the mayor. So she was on the news a lot, expressing great dissatisfaction for the length of time the Democrat governor, wanted the strip closed, and she's like, we got to eat. This town moves and lives and breathes on tourism, and without the tourists, we don't exist. So if we don't open up soon, we're not going to be here. The town is going away, and we need you to fucking open the damn strip again. So I think that dissatisfaction caused it. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm speculating, but what I know I saw her on the news a lot. So here's the thing, though. You had people with true great power. Mr. Perry. Mr. Perry is a senator from one of the smallest districts in one state. And it's not a state where I live. It's a state where I left, so I don't have to hear what he thinks. It's politics. I mean, I'm a Republican. I don't give a fuck about your politics. I care about the women you're trafficking. I care about the women and children you're exploiting. And it's crime. And you don't get to be a criminal. And I think I told you that. You've gotten away with this shit all your life. Not this time. And since then, we quote you pretty much every day, don't we? When you're having a little meeting. Because you act like this.
Here, please, I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why I moved.
No. Just talk
Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
and leave me alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, you. Please.
I'm not a teenage runaway, and I'm extremely confident in myself, and I have help. So, normally, a trafficking victim would be someone who is vulnerable, and I'm not. I have help. You're trying to make me vulnerable, because I'm not vulnerable. Normally, a traffic victim would be someone who doesn't know what they think. I'm going to tell you, I owned my own businesses. I was a leader. I helped Mr. Perry get elected. People voted for Mr. Perry after coming to me and saying, what do you think? Vote for him. Remember, we needed the police to be able to get to him, undercovers. It's a lot easier to talk to somebody when they're running for office and they're nice and braggy and look what I can do and get away with. Instead of in their office, you pretend you need your taxes done a time or two. Remember, he's a boring little accountant. So when people in Manford are telling me he says he's important, I'm going, no. Oh, fuck no. That's bullshit. He's a podunk nobody. Small town little nothing. Definitely not an important guy. So that's bullshit. And I'm sorry you fell for it. Well, all we know is Senator. We didn't know. Okay, well, I'm telling you, look it up. He's not federal, he's state. State guys have just enough the power to be irritating. I've worked with both. Very little, though, on the state. I can't stand it. I can't. It's definitely more preferable for me to work in federal. And that happened only because we were trying to reform Medicare. And that's state. That's not state. That's federal. So I went to Senator Reid and I went to Senator Ensign, who's a Republican. And guess what? Senator Ensign had an affair. And then he paid the family $96,000 through his parents. And he almost went to prison. Mark Sanford had an affair, and he stood up and said, I'm sorry. I'm going to resign as governor. I've made a terrible mistake. He apologized. He owned his mistake. He took responsibility. And he came back and became a congressman. Senator Ensign is not electable anymore because he tried to cover up. And the more you chase that lie, Mr. Perry, you're stupid. You can't. I mean, Mr. Perry has Huntington's disease, and we found out he has Huntington's disease because when he goes at me, my guys get pissed, his leaks get mad, and we start finding shit out. Stuff he wants covered up. He's chasing a lie. The truth comes out. He's got Huntington's disease that causes delusion. He can no longer tell fact from fiction. He can't do it. His people need to stop expecting him to. He can't. He has impaired cognitive reasoning, so he can't understand when you fuck with me, you get caught. Cause and effect. He can't do same and different. It's the same every time you do it to me, but it's different than all your other victims. He can't put that together in his head. Can't do it. That wire's not there. It's not there. What about the rest of you? What about the rest of you? And before and after, we always get the information before. I've not been trafficked yet, but I know he sold me. I know to who he sold me. Any other victim have that information? Muffin Man? Who's the Muffin Man to you, Mr. Perry? David? Lucius? Who's the Muffin Man to you? Sonjay? So these are kindergarten. I mean, we learned this shit in daycare. I'm like 2 years old, I learned. Cause and effect. Don't touch the hot stove, it'll burn you. Don't grab granny's or my mother's curling iron. It'll burn you. Okay? These are small, these are simple concepts a young child can understand. My guy said in 2020, you're not to invade her privacy again. Do not contact her or her family at all. Don't do it. Not directly, not indirectly, not in any form. Leave them the fuck alone. Cynthia is not to be broke anymore. She needs to be able to go to work. And you butt out. Just like that. Look how much more we've gotten since you didn't do that. Look how much more we got this morning. We think it's the Navy. She likes some fish. And then it's about military ecumenicals. God and country. They don't want to take our bribe. We knew you tried to do a hate crime here. Where's the hate against you? We hate your crime. We hate you for hurting people. You're hated for hurting people. Has nothing to do with your sexual orientation. But God, do tell us, are you gay? Are you trans? I've made fun of men who abuse women. They're girls. Because real men do not act like that at all. They have no need to trample all over the rights of women and kids. To feel tough guy. If they want to fight with somebody, they go to a bar and get a guy and pick a fight with a man. They don't pick on women and children. And they don't have mommy issues. That they just can't get over it. My mommy and I can't get over it. Oh, Jesus. So Perry walked around here pretending, telling everybody I was his girlfriend. And then he forged a marriage license and told everybody I was his wife. But the real thing he didn't tell them was that the reason he forged the marriage license and the power of attorney was to get into my bank accounts and get into my insurance company and get into all my private financial information or a storage unit or into my lease agreement or my car guy and get information he's not entitled to have. It is protected under privacy laws. And the reason they do that is when they traffic women, they destroy their finances. They take their social security card, birth certificates, driver's license away. I showed everybody the Oklahoma City Police Department. They said these are telltale signs of traffickers. They just did training at our local airport to Homeland Security. Here's how to catch a trafficker. He's going to have her driver's license and he won't let her have it. That's a trafficker. You better watch out. That's probably a victim of trafficking. She's basically kidnapped. And she's scared to death to say anything. Right? And it's a very serious crime. Life sentence. Life sentence. I'm going to say it again for you. That comes with a life sentence. So, what's the search warrant for? Mr. Perry's typing in my phone. We got a warrant signed. Did you? A warrant for what? And what's the probable cause? What's the crime? In order to have any kind of warrant signed, search warrant or arrest warrant, you're going to do what you did the first one on the arrest warrant, and I brought it out. First of all, there should have been probable cause before he signed that. Where's the evidence of a political vendetta, bitch? You still don't have an issue. And you don't have any, there's no tweets, there's no rants, there's no raves, there's no nothing. There was an abortion bill that session was extended in Texas to write it. And there's a Facebook message about it where I'm telling my friend Aurora, this isn't going to pass the Supreme Court. The language is all wrong. So they've extended session and they're spending millions of dollars of tax dollars, and I'm a fiscal conservative. I don't like that. So for a bill that won't pass the Supreme Court. And I was right. It didn't. So you could see that when I'm dissatisfied with something or I don't like something, I'll say something. There's a tweet somewhere, there's a text somewhere, there's an email somewhere, there's a Facebook post, something. And yet nothing, not a thing from Mr. Perry that he can say, she was mad at me, here's the email to me, or the tweet about me doing this. 9 years later, you still got nothing. Then you alleged that there was a false police report filed. In order to determine if it's true or false, the police must, we're studying the Fourth Amendment right now, right? Protection against search and seizure. Anybody that can read my brief in the first lawsuit I filed against you can tell I understand that perfectly. So it's not hard. Again, I don't crack, 9 times out of 10, I don't crack a textbook, sir. Only reason I have a 3.59 is you trying to make me fail, jamming my computer up so I can't do my homework. It's not that I did it and I didn't do it right. It's that you made sure I didn't do it at all. You're the causation, bitch. You don't understand a word anybody says, do you? So, anyways, they get there's no collection of evidence. I said there's text and there's video surveillance at my work. Neither of that's not collected. I need a blood test to see if I got arsenic poisoning. Where's that blood test? It's a Brady violation. Right? And then you go to Judge Hanson. Brilliant Judge Hanson. Did you go to Texas Tech? How many of you guys went to Texas Tech? We call that Cracker Jack Box Law degree. Because of shit like he did. He signed the warrant with no evidence that there was anything investigated to determine whether it was true or false. No evidence collected. Nothing. Fourth Amendment rights violated all over the fucking place. And you think that's cute? That's how you get a date? It's never been about a date. You need to start being honest with my family. Because you went and told them, oh, she loves me and I love her. We're just keeping it a secret and we're going to get married. No. And they believed you? Did they believe you? Please tell me they didn't actually believe you. Maybe they pretended so you would shut up and go away. But I don't think they actually really believed you. Because I think my Aunt Kay told somebody, I've seen her with a man she's in love with when she was dating Saeed. Couldn't keep her hands off of him. You couldn't separate those two. Couldn't do it. That's what she does when she loves somebody. It's not your bullshit. I think she can't stand you. You're up here pretending. You're up here pretending. And you have no idea the people that make fun of you behind your back. For 6 years, Mr. Perry's been seen with our friends and family, but never with her. And people started thinking he is a little wacky. Because he's gone around and told people about 5 different stories. First, it's his fiance, and then his girlfriend, and then his wife, and then his concubine. He's a whack job. And the guy said, he forged her name to a marriage license because he's nutty. He's a delusional nutbag. And he's to be in the fruitcake farm. And the guy said, if that's all you have to do now, these days, to be married, I'm married to Jennifer Aniston. Shit, if all you have to do is sign her name, she doesn't even have to like you. How pathetic. How absolutely embarrassing and pathetic, Mr. Perry, that you would behave that way. And you want everybody to call you a dignitary and he wants to run for governor. Just lie for him. You can't run down the street without tripping and falling all over yourself, can you? Much less run a state. I mean, it is bad. Mr. Realtor from Houston, if you're so pathetic you have to buy a woman, then, I mean, there's no way I'd have anything to do with you. Not a fucking way, not any way in hell. You're a job just as much as Charles is. And I'm very, very good at what I do. If you think about it, there's a reason they had me come to this team, because there's a team of us. There's a reason they had me come. Our shrink said she's high functioning under extreme prolonged duress, because this is going to take a little while, and there's not very many people that can handle it. The abuse she's been subjected to day after day after day in order to get this job done and get these bitches. She doesn't say bitches. She's very, very formal. So I'm paraphrasing. But, you know, what part of that don't you get? What part of that are you guys having a hard time understanding? Mr. Perry has Huntington's disease. He fucking needs to be in a nursing home. And his family may go to jail too, because they haven't put him in a nursing home. And he's pranced around Oklahoma for 9 years, pretending. It's pathetic. Like, who the fuck does that? So, what's wrong? What's the rest of you excuse? She just ain't broke enough yet. If she had no place to go, then she'll leave. We're gonna coerce her, and coerce. It's yet another crime. Mr. Perry, what warrant did you get signed? And I guess I was supposed to go to the club this weekend. Everybody thought, well, she's got this XYZ bill to pay, she'll go. But see, how do you know what bills I have to pay? If you weren't hacking, you would know. The only way you know what bills I would need to pay is from hacking me. Somebody told me that you told my ex-husband, who came up here to fix my car, and that you told my coworker to call me and ask me what car I'm driving. Okay, well, I wouldn't tell her, because I have help. I have help you can't get to. Charles knows who it is. He just won't tell y'all, the rest of you. So, when we, but he doesn't keep him from asking me who his leaks are. And that doesn't keep him from asking me who other people. Today it's Bobby. Here's why. Because he's invading my privacy. Like the little Peeping Tom reject that he is. Pretending. And I was watching something about Whitney Houston. A couple of times I watched the Bobby Brown TV show, his reality show. Okay, here's the thing with everybody loves Whitney Houston. How could you not love Whitney Houston? Everybody loved her. When I lived in Vegas, we went to a concert of her, and it was bad. It was so bad. She had a miscarriage, and she canceled the first concert, and a couple months later rescheduled, and it was too soon. And she was an hour late coming out, and then she couldn't hit a fucking note to save her life. It was awful. This whole place is packed with people, African American people in tuxedos. They went all out, and they looked beautiful. tuxedos and evening gowns, packed full of people dressed that way. And there to see her and there to support her. And we were sitting. They were all on the floor in the MGM Grand, and we're up in the side seats. And she was terrible. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong here, that she sounds this bad? And now we all know she. First of all, she had just had a miscarriage, and she shouldn't have been out and about. She should have been with her family at home resting. It was too soon. And second of all, she had a drug problem. So they all get up and leave, and I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe they're leaving. We stayed. I was gonna leave. I was gonna stay. I like her. I felt like she was having a bad time of it, and I was not gonna just leave. But those people, probably 300, that were all in their tuxedos and their gowns, were pissed, and they got up and walked out. And I was like, oh geez, that's not good. We stayed. At the very end of it, Bobby Brown comes out and he performs, and the crowd goes wild. And poor guy, he feels bad, and he's telling everybody, it's not about me, it's about her. And so everybody's like, yeah, great, Whitney, but woo, Bob. I mean, they just went wild for Bobby. Performed 2 or 3 songs, or a song, I can't remember even now. It's been a long time ago, and they left. And so, I mean, you're in the crowd and you're watching her go through this horrible experience where everybody gets up and walks out like that right after she's had a miscarriage, and she couldn't sing. Her singing was terrible. I just, then the way she died, and then her daughter dies the same way, and you feel for these. Sometimes there's certain people that you feel for more than others. I remember feeling more. I feel more empathy for the loss of Jessica Lunsford, and Lacey Peterson. There's certain people that you just hurt more for maybe than others. I don't know how to explain it. You felt maybe something in common with them, or just the way that their situations were, the pain they endured, whatever it is. You feel a connection. You feel more empathy, and you send up prayers for those people, maybe more than somebody else you might see on television. I don't know how it works, but I was in that crowd, and I'm watching these people, this family, Bobby Brown and his wife Whitney Houston, who just lost a baby, go through hell, and people treat them terrible and disrespectful, and I could not believe it. 300 probably got them left, and Saeed and I were both aghast, like, oh dear, what in the world? Why would you do that? Why would you not be patient and understanding? I get you paid a lot of money for tickets, so did we. But this woman just had a miscarriage, and she's devastated, and she's not going to be performing at her top level. In fact, she probably should have waited before performing at all. Either way, do you really need to do that? So I'm watching a documentary on her, and Perry thinks it's Bobby Brown's involved. Why would you think that? Because you're watching something I'm watching. You're seeing something I don't intend for you to see. You know something about what I'm doing in the privacy of my home I don't want you to even know about, much less think it's a hint or take it wrong and start asking me. Did you call Mr. Brown and ask him? Did you make that much of a fool of yourself? I mean, this happens all the time. We don't even know who else been called and asked. Do you know her? I mean, it's embarrassing. If you weren't breaking the law and violating me in a very sick, twisted way, you wouldn't be making a fool of yourself, Mr. Perry. Making phone call. How do you even make that phone call? I'm a sex weirdo, pervert, who's got a Peeping Tom problem and a pretend relationship with a woman who cannot stand me. 11 times she asked a judge to make me leave her alone, that I had to buy my way out of that. 11 times. Well, 10. The first one, I forgot my police report. That was the other thing, Judge Hanson. You didn't bother to look at the law. I live in Oklahoma. I don't live in Texas. I'd lived in Oklahoma for like a year and a half when that happened. And you didn't go. Well, you tried a protective order. She was denied because she forgot a police report. You know the law. I'm following the laws in the state where I live. Believe me, I don't need locals. I never have. I went to locals because I didn't have a choice. There's police from somewhere else that got me to get you to get elected. Go help them get elected, Sin. We need your help on this one. You think I need locals? Really? Never have I needed a local. The only reason I go to locals is that there's going to be a protective order requested, Mr. Perry. Otherwise, I don't call locals. Don't need them. Never have, never will. We've asked them to get involved, and they won't. So we don't, I'm not going to beg. Why would I beg? Well, you know what I told Jerry Bender? I'm not going to sue your officers for giving my police report right to the offender of a domestic violence complaint, who it looks like he just tried to kill me. They don't call me until I'm already in jail. Justice, if you look at Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513, it says that, prevent and delay the reporting of a crime is illegal by physical force. That's what that was. Destroying my evidence. Obstruction of justice, Jerry. I'm not going to sue your guys because they're stupid. I'll cop them. Watch me. It's not been hard. Jerry, surely you know there's a lot of people going, how much are they getting paid to look the other way? Or even cover it up. I don't call locals. Don't need them. Never have. I've been in Oklahoma how long? 9 years? What's the call logs? I don't call them. Unless I just have to. So the first report I filed in Sapulpa, I had to. That's the law. The other two went in Tulsa. Again, I'm trying to get protective orders. It's the law. I don't have a choice. It's the law. In Manford, we got a complaint. We got a ongoing lawsuit. And I tell Officer Gibson, this could be anybody, but it also might be the stalker. We're on a lawsuit. One of them's got his people 2 doors down. Now I'm having problems with vandalism to my car. I don't know anybody else weird enough to do this. So if it becomes apparent in your investigation that it is my stalker, then what I need to do is go back in and again ask for a protective order. I already asked for one. They're supposed to be hearing in 14 days. Odd as this might sound, there wasn't a hearing. I got to try again. There's like 4 of those, Mr. Perry, where there was supposed to be a hearing. There's one either scheduled, and then it just didn't happen, like Joe's default judgment. Mr. Goodwin, she says, would you like to file, this motion, blah, blah, blah? And he says, yes. And she says to me, Ms. Ortiz, would you like me to take this as your answer? Or do we nix this? Because frankly, it was improperly filed. So I can just nix it. And what we can do is have you then respond to Mr. Goodwin's motion after he files it, and then we'll have a hearing. And I said, yes, that would be preferable. I don't know what he's going to say, so nix the one I filed. Once he files his motion that you're asking him to file, then I'll file a response to that, and then we'll have our hearing. Perfect, that sounds good. There was never a hearing. There's supposed to be the same thing with my landlord. We enjoin a motion to get my records sealed because he shouldn't have filed the action to begin with due to COVID moratoriums. He admitted that. And now you got my address out all over the place, dude. And so he files a motion to seal the address. I file a motion to enjoin. We're both judge asking you to seal my address. She says, I can't. You can't do that here. I found case precedents. Great. Cite the case, Your Honor. Oh, I don't know. You look it up. I can look it up, Your Honor. That's not going to help me know what case you're referring to. Cite the case you're referring to. Oh, I don't know. Never did. It's just stupid. Did you pay her? Because I'm noticing judges are very intelligent until they've talked to you. Then all of a sudden they're not. They're like you. They don't even make sense. Does it make sense for a judge to say case law doesn't support blah, blah, blah? I looked it up and there's a case precedence on it. Great. What's the case? Cite it. Oh, I don't know. Did you ever heard a judge do that before? I never have, unless unless Perry's talked to him. So all of a sudden they go fucktard like him. And that's probably not their normal. So there's the second one. I file a motion to intervene for Mike Neely. There should have been a hearing on standing. Right? Nothing. There should have been a hearing to determine, does she have standing to even file this motion? Nothing. So, on the landlord one, she says, file this answer, and Cynthia, you file a response. And all of a sudden it's just dismissed. No responses, no motions, no hearing. So there's that. And yet, Mr. Perry's not supposed to have any contact with my landlord, is he? And yet we see the pattern here. Mr. Perry, the second time you do it, I get the pattern. It's not like you 13 years later, when you fuck with me, you're caught. You act like you can't see the pattern. It's different when you do it to me, but it's the same that your other victims, but it's the same every time you do it. So what is your stated goal here? My stated goal is to help the officers put you in jail so you can't hurt people anymore. There's girls at my work at trafficking. We all know that. You're using them to sell drugs and alcohol. I mean, not alcohol. Well, maybe alcohol too. I haven't seen that. But you're using them to sell for prostitution and for drugs. You know how we know? Because nobody walks in with 14 grand to throw on stage and walks out with 4 girls. If that's not what they're after. 14 grand in a strip club. These girls are going, it's 1,000 to 5,000 every night. Not selling dances, not selling VIPs that the club would make part of. Stage money. It's immediately laundered. Don't pay me for the drugs, throw it on the stage. It's immediately laundered. Right? And we caught y'all. We caught you, not TPD. We did. We don't need locals, we got this. Right? If locals want to help, fine, but they've not acted like they want to help. We don't need them. We've been doing this all this time. Locals didn't give me the McNamara email. Someone else did. Locals didn't tell me you drugged Mike. And Gene Mitchell's gonna lie. So text him or call him and see if you can't get your testimony on that record. Make sure your testimony gets on that record. Because your testimony can mean the difference between more victims or no more victims. Because these guys reoffend. So there's going to be more victims if they're not locked up and Mike goes to jail. Mike's not a criminal. They are. So you're running traffic victims through that club. And they're making a shit ton of money. And bless that one girl's heart. David, it didn't occur to you that maybe you might want to get her a nicer car? So people wouldn't go, gosh, why is she taking home so much money? I'm not seeing her snort it up her nose. That doesn't mean she doesn't do drugs sometimes. I'm not saying she's not drug free. What I'm saying is I'm not seeing a habit that would cost that much money to support. I'm seeing a young lady give every penny she makes to her trafficker. And she's getting nothing. And her trafficker is not smart enough to get her a nicer car so people don't start to question, where's all that money going? She's not getting it. She should get it. She's doing the work. But you're telling her, I'm sending the guys in. If I weren't sending guys in, you wouldn't make shit. Is that what you're telling her? Yeah, you forgot who it is you're talking to and who you're dealing with, right? We don't need locals, David. Never have. Right? Go ask Captain Gimpy. Are you helping her? He'll tell you no. He's not helping us. We got this. We've got this. We've been doing this all this time without them. So we don't call locals. Don't need to. Never have. Now, this, so you told my ex-husband you're causing problems. Wow. Why are you calling him at all? First of all. Second of all, don't butt into my family business again. Don't butt into my family business again. My ex-husband let me sit alone in my car on Christmas Day. He didn't text me. They didn't call me. He was up with my oldest son, who's not his biological son. He's my son. And my granddaughter. While I sat by myself on Christmas, and he owed me one. Don't you think? Did he do that because you told him to? And now you're telling him when he's finally doing the right thing for his family? I gave him a son. I raised that kid by myself while being stalked and harassed and threatened. I told Dennis every night before I went to work, you know what the threats are? Death and false arrest. I don't know if I'll be home. I don't know. If I don't come home by X this time, call Craig and call your dad. That means they did it. So he saw the McNamara email. What does that say? They take their documents and they take their money. Victims. Deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. Interference with commerce with intent to coerce. Interference with contracts like my lease agreement with intent to coerce, because now that's the second hearing that should have happened and didn't. Mike's was the third. I spot a pattern the second time you do it. I'm not stupid. I can think circles around you in my sleep. I have been. And grand larceny with intent to coerce. Houston Realtor guy, I'm telling you no. I'm not going to change my mind. And the more pressure I get, the more pissed off I get. I'd kick your ass. You'd wish you hadn't met me. I don't know why the hell you have these conversations with these guys. Oh, if we can just get her to change her mind. She's just not hungry enough yet. She's just, not broke enough yet. We just need her to leave Oklahoma and be Hansel and Gretel back to Texas, where we can do more to force her against her will to be my slave, which is illegal in this country. Then this. Stop planning your life with me. It's not going to happen. Stop planning a life with me. It's not going to happen. The fact that I know that ought to make you shit yourself. And the fact that it doesn't make you shit yourself speaks to your delusion as much as Mr. Perry's. It should absolutely make you shit yourself. That I know you do that. I know who you are. I know I've been sold to you. And I'm not for sale. You can't sell people in the United States. It's a crime. This is Oklahoma City Police Department. This is their special operations unit that has the information about sex trafficking and human trafficking. David, buy the girl that I'm talking about, and you know who that is, a nicer car. You really don't have a choice. Girl, I'm not going to say your name, but I know who you are. Negotiate a better deal for yourself, or use this as an opportunity to get the fuck out of it, and then you make what you make and it's your money, and you don't give any to David. If you got some sort of emotional attachment, I'd rethink that, because this person is stealing your money. And yep, he's sending people in, but guess what? If he's not, people are going to come in anyway, and they're going to buy a dance from you, and they're going to tip you on stage. Only this money you get to keep. And you don't have to suck anybody's dick you don't want to suck. And you can be whatever it is you want to be, and do what you want to do, because you deserve good things. You're free. We're setting you free. Right now, I'm speaking it out. You're free. I don't call locals. Why would I do that? I have help from somewhere else. I always have. The McNamara email, Mr. Perry, was the first evidence of that. Mr. Powell, Mr. Robertson. So what is it you guys were so desperate to get me back out to the club this weekend for? Your warrant that you had signed? Using a perjured statement? Right? What's the crime? I don't like you. It's not illegal not to like a trafficker. You're coercing me. It's just another act of intimidation. You're not just going to intimidate me. You're going to intimidate that little girl too. We heard that you thought she's a leak and she wants out. And so you wanted me arrested on stage where she could see it. So she'll shut up and comply. Little easy. So it's not just an act of coercion against me. It's both of us. And you're caught. And our guys are going to arrest you for that. What day will that be? Because when I'm quoting you, and I know this before you do it, not after, it's not an afterthought to explain something away. I have the information before it happened, before you actually did it. And don't you dare call my ex-husband and say you caused a problem for us committing our crime against your family and your ex-wife. It's none of your business what I do, is it? She just ain't broken enough yet. Golly. What does that say? Kirkendall was smart. I didn't actually know her. In Lubbock, I met some of the judges. She was not one that I knew, but she's smart. Why isn't Judy Parker this smart? Why wasn't Judge Hanson this smart? What a disappointment. Think past tying your shoe. Get the information, because we have it. And you better know what we know, because down the road, you're going to look bad if you don't get it too. It's there. It's the information is what it is. Right? So get the information, because we have. And if you're incompetent, then we'll make sure that's going to become apparent. Did you see the Netflix special? Unbelievable. You had an incompetent police department, and then you had a competent one. By the way, those were female detectives that got it right. So you hate women? Got to make women fail. Misogynist, that's the hate crime. Okay, so this was Judge Kirkendall that said this, isn't it? Well, you didn't like that, so you went to Parker's court? Are you threatening Parker, or is she dumb, or what's the deal? Who signed a warrant, and for what? Mr. Perry, see, he likes typing in my phone while I'm trying to do homework and shit. He likes letting everybody, here's what I can do and get away with. Okay, whatever. So this was Kirkendall. Look at the date on that, January 29, 2021. Mr. Perry, I don't want anything with you. You're rejected, and the more you force yourself on me, the more I can't stand you. You're not good enough. I would never go out with a man who peeps. I would never go out with somebody so creepy. So vulgar. And so hateful and cruel. Don't ever call my ex-husband again. Causing too many problems for us, Ernest. Oh my God, wow. Wow. You got a lot of nerve. Don't call him anymore. You leave that man alone. That's my family. He said you're not to invade her privacy. You do not contact her family, any of them, ever again in any form, directly or indirectly. Don't do it. And she's not to be broke anymore. I shouldn't have to call my ex-husband and go, I need some help with money. Charles took all mine. I haven't been able to go to work. He's a threat to me there. I should be able to go to work without being a victim of crime. You live in Lubbock. Go to Lubbock and fuck off me. And every time you do it anyway, you bother me anyway, what happens, Calvin? We have the information before, not after. That's why she said, I think I need to rule out, you're the cause. You're the provocation. You're entrapping. You're the proximate cause. You're the causation of this incident that causes an injury. But the injury is not to you, it's to her. Right? It's a hate crime because she called me a princess. That's what we call, guys, what my granddad taught me when I was little. Back then, what you do to wife beaters and men who are cruel and abusive to women is you take them behind the shed and you man them up and you beat the fuck out of them until they start acting like men. And they don't treat women like that. They'll give up their chair for a woman. And they show some respect for women. That's what they did. That's how they solved that problem. And guess what? Domestic violence wasn't a huge problem back then, was it? No, because everybody got all, oh, we got to, here's your dolly. Pat you on the back. Your mommy was mean to you. Aw. Yeah, no one cares. No one cares. That is my biological granddaughter. She is the daughter of my oldest son. So on Christmas, my husband is with her. And I'm sitting alone in my car, being punished because I won't be coerced into being trafficked. Go to Houston, you can have a nice house, but you got to suck everybody's dick. You got to pretend you like us. Then I said no. So my punishment, and I testified for Mike. He's a cop. The one cop that actually tried to do something. And Chief Miller, who was dead from a big dude. Mike was found unconscious and in respiratory distress. I come from police. Please understand that. I'm going to say it again. I come from 4 generations of police. All my life, it's about serving. Power is in service to other people, not kicking the shit out of them. And here's what I can do to get away with. And it garnered respect and loyalty in a way that kicking the shit out of them and intimidating and telling them what you can do and get away with will not. Okay? I heard that all my life. My family was the power in the town where I grew up. I grew up in it, Mr. Perry. You're a nobody. You don't matter. You can't get information, and I can because I do. So does the girl that I work with that you're trafficking, that you're using for prostitution and making her drive a beat up, fucked up car. Okay? So, this is my little baby granddaughter that he was, my ex-husband, now he's kind of being nice again because you let him, I guess. And you're now, and then you causing problems for us. Don't you ever fucking call him again. Don't fucking call him again. Right? Leave him alone. Leave everybody the fuck alone. Leave everybody and everything the fuck alone. You go be with Jacqueline and Jordan and Matthew. Nobody's getting in your family's bullshit. Nobody, where I live, who I'm with, how I spend a weekend, how I spend any time at all, when I get my schoolwork done, when I do whatever, doesn't concern you. It's not your business. Butt out. Butt the fuck out. It's not your business. You have no place in my life. I can't stand you. I moved twice not to have to hear what you think and how you feel. And everybody's sick of it. We can get information and you can't. Because everybody is like, if I have to hear one more time how he feels and what he thinks, I'll die. I will fucking die. Why can he not leave everybody the fuck alone? Why? I said no, and that's it. No is no. Now you're trying to coerce. That's a whole nother crime. Houston guy, get over it, dude. You got money, you got power. You can find a date the normal way. They got our time. They got old people, farmers, something. There's like 20 different online dating services. Fuck, in Houston there ought to be a dating service. But get out of my face with your limp dick problem and your weak, pathetic, I gotta buy a woman. You're not buying me. I said no. You're gonna coerce me. Charles, I said no. I said no. I said absolutely fuck you. No. So, we heard you this morning because you're raping me. Maybe it's the Navy, and maybe there's somebody in the Navy helping. It's not your business. Charles knows who it is. Go ask him. He's just not telling everybody else. Maybe he's afraid, I don't know. But you don't call my family anymore. Stay the fuck away. And I said no. I said no. I said no. I said no. It's different when you do the crime to me, fucktard. It's different. I find out before, not after. So what was your desperation? Go work, go. Why? Why? What crime are you going to commit against me when I get there? Right. So then they're like, you can't go. You're going to have to starve. Because that's worse, actually. If you go and they do what they want, it's actually worse than starving. Sex traffickers control money and IDs. Sex traffickers, he types in my other phone, yeah, we do. Do you? You admitting you're a sex trafficker? Life sentence? What day is my guy gonna arrest you? What day will my guy arrest you? What day? Why are we getting all this, Charles? It's for court. It is to make an arrest and to get a conviction. And the more we get, the easier that will be. And the more restitution your victims will get. And you're fucktard and don't get that. It's embarrassing. How embarrassing for you that you're this stupid. So embarrassing. I would not walk in a room with you for millions. I'd rather be dead. I'd rather you kill me. So embarrassing. so embarrassing. You're that stupid. Before, not after. That is evidence of coercion, intent, malicious intent to coerce. We got to get her back to Texas so we can do more to her, to hurt her, to make her the victim of crime. And I am far from a victim, really, if you think about it. You're a job, Charles. I'm very good at what I do. How many times were you caught before you did it to me? How many after? We don't call locals, don't need to. Never have. Unless I have to for court, to get a protective order. See, if I get a protective order and you violate it, you're fucked in a way you have no idea. You had to buy your way out 10 times. You're that pathetic. That was the power in the town where I grew up. And that is my granddad. And he was a cop. Power is in the service. And these little pussies that have to pick on women and kids to feel tough, we just take them out behind the shed and beat the shit out of them and man them up. And then you didn't hear so much about little pussies like you, little cowards. Little stupids, little pathetics, right? Are you gay? Are you trans? Say it if you are, because I don't even know. My ex-husband got this email. It's to him. So who is it you think you're fooling? When you call him up and go, you made some problems for us. No, he didn't. You did. You're the problem. He's not doing anything wrong. He finally made something right that he did wrong. Christmas Day, all by yourself. Everybody complained about that. Charles made her spend Christmas by herself in her car as punishment for helping Mike Neely, a cop, a police officer. So we're like talking about it, like he's found unconscious and in respiratory distress because he's been given opioids and he's dying. So he wouldn't have had the strength to cause the injury the ME said was equal to a car crash. Beat him back and forth and back and forth and back and forth till his head came off his body. Internal decapitation was one of the causes of death. And he didn't have the strength to do that in that condition. So who did? And the guy said he was a big guy. Bigger than both of them. Those two guys were about the same size. Mike and Lucky. Weren't they? So was it Joe? Is everybody freaking out because I questioned? Maybe it's Joe. Maybe it was Dave. Maybe it was Calvin. Then they got a horse in this race. And they're shitting themselves and they're going at me. And that's called retaliation. It's also illegal. Who put the drugs in Mike's drink? You, Charles? That's your thing, isn't it? Spiking drinks? Did you do that? What are you on? You on cocaine? You're on cocaine, we hear. Does Lubbock know that? Does your wife know that? Are you gay? Are you trans? Does she know? I don't know. But I know what hate crime against women is. I know what misogyny is. I know what a bunch of little pathetics who pick on women and kids to feel tough. That's a hate crime. Child pornography. Allegedly. Go to Pensacola, Mike. It'll be fun. Because he said no first, didn't he? And then you talked him into it. You Hanseled and Greteled him. You coerced him. And he's in jail now. Go to work, Sin. Go to work. He's typing it in my phone. Go to Houston. We have a really nice house for you. I said no. I said no. I have your code words. Papa John's is meaning make delivery of a trafficking victim. Little chick at work. I'm going to give you a fake name. And instead of what your real name is or what you're called by at work, we're going to call you, let me think. Hang on. Okay, I'm going to take a break because my phone is going dead. And we're going to plug it in and play what Dr. Russell said years ago. Mr. Perry can't get attention but for bothering everybody. And he's proved that out every fucking day. So let's listen to that. Okay, so here's the disclaimer. Use allegedly, apply the but-for legal standard, the reasonable prudent individual standard, I assert all constitutional rights, First Amendment, equal protection in the application to the fucking law. Okay, Dr. Russell is going to be right here. There's the transcripts here. She said, what you got with somebody with disability. They just poke you and poke you and poke you, and they do things you can't ignore. And that's what you've got with Charles. And I'm going to play it here while my phone recharges.
Yes, I've asked a zillion people in the mental health care, friends that are in the mental health care profession, saying, what combination of words do I need to use to get him to stop stalking me? To get him to understand, I don't love you, I'm never going to love you. Whatever was there is over. It's been over. I'm sorry that you are stuck there and that you're imagining things now that aren't there. My feelings for you aren't what yours are for me, and I need you to stop because you're hurting me and you're hurting my family. What combination of words can I use to get that across to him so he will stop? And nobody has the answer to that question.
Well, and I think it's the opposite. I mean, the hurting you may be what he wants to do, and when he knows it hurts you,
He doesn't want.
he does more. And that is why with stalking, you have to end up doing that. Of just no contact, no response, no please stop doing this to me. Because the more you do that, the more papers.
Happening is if I ignored him, he would do something.
Escalate.
Yes. And tell. I'm gonna do this and tell you react like a child that's poking you, and you're ignoring. When your kids were young, and you might be talking to another grown up, and they'll come up and they, and you're kind of like, okay, just a minute, you're gonna talk. And finally, they do it so much that you go, what?
Exactly.
It's like that.
Exactly. And that is the behaviorally what we know and what we see is that you do something, you get a response. So you do it again and you get a response. So then you do it and you get no response. So you do it again. And then you up it until you get that response. And that's behavioral analysis. And so what you see is go along, response, things are going well. The person decides not to give you a response. So you just do more of it. And they respond because it's so terrible. And so you go back down, you ignore it again, no response, and it just gets higher and higher. And the only way, eventually there is extinction. And that means eventually it goes away. But you have to be able to handle that escalation. And unfortunately, his escalation, and this is what I tell. I work with some people with developmental disabilities, and they're big. They're big and tall, and they know how to escalate. They'll hate or something, ignore. But the problem is they can escalate more than you can ignore, and that's what you go with Charles.
They put me in jail, so now I have a criminal case that I have to pay attention to.
And that's why the criminal case, I think, is where your focus is going to be.
not a mark on him. You can't beat someone to death so hard it's like a car crash that their head becomes detached from the rest of their body and they die. Especially when you're found unconscious and in respiratory distress from being overdosed with opioids. He didn't have the strength. There's no way. He's a police officer. 6 days took my report, so that if it became apparent in their investigation that you did it, I could go in and get a protective order. But you obstructed justice for the second time when I called locals. People doing that constantly. She called Lucky 3 times. He came over to the property to look over a death. He was investigating a death. He thought there was some suspicious crap about it. Otherwise, it looked like natural causes. That's the conference they went to. How to tell if it's a natural causes, suicide, or a murder. Because sometimes it's hard to tell, like when you drug somebody, or like Justice Scalia. When murder cop commander William O'Ritchie of DC Police said, how come protocol wasn't followed when he died like it would have been if he died in DC? He was in Lubbock while you were planning to send me home, harass the fuck out of me, and then say you are being harassed when you got told on, so that you can intimidate me and the other girls. You're the victims. We're going to call the other girl, I'm still trying to think of a name. We're going to call her anything, but not her dancer name and not her real name. We'll call her Tiffany. So Tiffany, you know, you got some leverage here. It's different when they do it to me. So use it to negotiate, because the fact that you didn't have a nice car flagged off police from somewhere else. So she went over and told Lucky, we've asked you guys to patrol 3 times. And they're still coming up and taking pictures of her. And I've lived here 10 years and I've not seen this, and I'm really worried about her. I think you need to do something. And he said, get plates. I need tag numbers. Start getting tag numbers. I can't do anything without that. So, but then he died. You know, murdered. This is the date they called me and said, we need evidence. We got to properly collect it. Don't you think? They dismissed my charges of my illegal arrest that was supposed to intimidate the fuck out of me. I filed a police report. You got to do it. It's the law. You didn't tell Judge Hanson that. Judge Parker, you better fucking know what we know, because Hanson didn't, and now he looks bad. January 21st, and they had me false arrested for filing a false police report in retaliation for a public servant doing his job as a senator. No probable cause. There's no tweets. There's no Facebook messages. There's no emails. There's no text. There's nothing political. Produce it, Charles. Delusional. That's what the charges were. While I'm sitting in jail, we're all in West Texas. Justice Scalia's over there too, and he dies. And they're suspicious, a cop, a smart cop, figures out something's up with why they didn't investigate his death. This is when I call me back, Tulsa police. Anyways, okay. There it is. Arsenic. Did you give me arsenic? Yeah. We're trying to kill you. This is what the law says. You have to file a police report. This one was denied because I didn't I did file it. I didn't bring it to court with me. Judge Hanson wasn't told all that. It's called concealment of a material fact. The intent was malicious. You intended to conceal a fact that would change the outcome, right? It's called perjury and suborning perjury. I've studied it. That's my family. That was cops, Mr. Perry. My family was the power in the town where I grew up. See that my granddad's name is on the front door of the police station. And right there on that wall, inside that police station. I want Lucky's and Mike's to be on that Manford police station. False arrest and killing me dead isn't going to vindicate him from stalking. It's going to prove he is. But he's a slow guy mentally, so he may not figure that out by himself. You might have to get the finger paints out on a special education teacher to help him. When you fuck with me, you don't get a date, you're rejected. You just get told on and told on and told on and told. You think it's the Navy and Bobby Brown investigating you, telling me everything you're going to do before you do it. Oh my God. Okay, tell the judge that. And they got that to me in jail. You're the butt-in, just a wannabe, never wanted. 13 years rejected every day. And told on and told on. How many times were you guys told on before you did it to me, and how many after? So, Tiffany, you're free. You're fucking free. If you got an emotional attachment, rethink it. You're a little young to fully understand the repercussions. I would talk to somebody older and wiser that you trust about emotional attachments. There's a thing that can happen when somebody's basically been kidnapped, and that happens sometimes, and it's not good. It's not healthy. There's a man for you that loves you and will treat you right and won't use you to make money. Here, I'm gonna send you a guy. You gotta suck his dick, and he'll throw 14 grand on the stage for you, and you and the 3 other girls. I mean, come on with that. And here, you get to drive the shittiest car on the planet. What's that say in 2014? What I would like him to do is leave me the fuck alone. Get the fuck out of my business. Where I live, where I work, when I work, doesn't concern any of you. Charles, you need to get busy. Get a schedule, get activities on the schedule, and quit butting into my business. Fuck off. You're not wanted. You're not loved. You're told on, and you've got nothing else in 13 years to show for what you've done but told on. That's it. Houston guy, you too. You know, you're just pathetic too. What kind of bitch has to buy a woman? And what kind of bitches are so pathetic because mommy didn't breastfeed that she gotta hate that's the hate crime, misogynists, gender discrimination and all that crap. Beat down women, abuse women, take advantage of women, use women, and starve them to deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. It's a very serious crime, all of you. Houston guy, you sat there and watched me suffer and you didn't do a fucking thing about it. So, no. The answer's no for you all. I said no. Now, I have a very strong personality and I have a big bunch of guys helping me. So if you continue to push me, all you're going to do is piss me off. That's all you're going to do. You're not going to get anything. You're just going to piss me the fuck off. So when you piss me off, what happens? We start getting more. Like your little meeting today. Maybe it's the Navy. She likes sea life, and I do. I love sea life. But that doesn't mean it's the Navy. Ask Charles who it is. He knows. He knows exactly who it is. He thinks Bobby Brown's helping. Because I watched a TV show with Bobby Brown on it and Whitney Houston. Oh my God, wow. But the intent is for you not to know about that. Because I did that in the privacy of my home, which you've not been invited into. You're not going to come and break into my home against my will, rape me in a vulgar, nasty, illegal way, and rip up my life and ruin it, and then tell me to leave my home. Fuck off. That's what all day long. Leave. It's none of your business where I live. You leave. Nobody invited you here. You leave. You're the intruder, not an invited guest. You were never invited to Oklahoma. Stay the fuck away from me and stay the fuck away from my family. All of them. You don't call my ex-husband and say he's causing a problem. You're the problem. He's not doing anything. The problem that he did that was wrong is letting me sit in my car on Christmas Day by myself. Didn't text, nothing. While he's with my granddaughter. That's not his granddaughter. That's my granddaughter. That's Tristan's dad is Brandon, not him. Not my ex-husband. Don't you ever do fucking that again. It's a punishment. It's retaliation for my testimony for Mike Neely and my refusal to be trafficked. Alright, and he's trying to frame me for a murder. We've already done that. He's altered the evidence. The girl that did it is, I'm quoting witnesses, quite a bit heavier than Cynthia. Darker skin and blonder hair. It's a yellow blonde. Cynthia's a whiter blonde. Right? quite a bit heavier. Did you put her on a diet? And then you're trying to change her hair color and get me to tan so that we look more alike. Richard says, I can't even put her at the scene. You cut off all her friends from her and all her I mean, she has nobody. So it's not like I can go to her friends and say, has she never been there where this happened? And then he's told, it's a public defender. They won't think of that. And he's like, have you met her? Did you see what she did on Mike's case? Who's helping her? Who are these guys telling her that we're doing this? She already knows. I'm not doing this as an afterthought to explain something away. I'm telling you, they're the causation. They planned it. It's a lie. And they're trying to do it anyway. They've been caught. They act like they don't know they're caught. This is Oklahoma City Police Department. This is human trafficking. It says what you bitches do. You try to do a false arrest and pay off the locals, right? To intimidate me, and the other girls see it and they'll, oh gosh, we don't want them to do that to me. And that's exactly what you're doing. And everybody knows it. Tulsa police, I'm sorry, but you gotta know all the reporters that talk behind your back. How much did they get to cover up for these guys? Because everybody can see Mike didn't do it. She's a victim of stalking. Why aren't these people in jail? If I did that, I'd be in jail. Why aren't they? Do you think people are dumb? Do you really think that? Because you're in for a surprise. And the thing is, you better know what we know, because you're in for a surprise. If you don't, it's going to slap you in the face later. Just like in the movie Unbelievable. Somebody's getting it done, and you're not. Why is that? Why is that, Jerry? Explain it, Mr. Jerry Bender. And this was a conversation our guys got, Mr. Perry. Because every time you contact me, we get more. When you cause any kind of problem for me at all, we get more. Longer you're in my life, invading my privacy, we get more. He said you're not to invade her privacy. You're not to contact her or her family in any way, shape, or form, directly or indirectly, and she's not to be broke anymore. And the more you do that, the more we get. And the more we get, the easier it will be to get a conviction against all of you. And a whole lot of restitution for your victims. I won't be broke anymore. Right there. He told my ex-husband, you're causing problems. Because she didn't go to the club where we could do the nefarious criminal act against her we had planned. You came to town and she hung out with you instead. Right? And that made you mad? How'd she find out? How'd she know? Well, it wasn't him. I'll tell you that. My guys are mad at him for what he did to me at Christmas. Look at all this. You wanted me pulled over again. They recorded you talking about that. So that's 2 recordings right there. 3. The one about whether or not you're gay or trans because you wanted to claim you're the victim of a hate crime. Misogyny's the hate. Tell us whether you're gay or not, because I don't even know. Okay? I don't like men who beat down women and kids. To me, they're just little girls. Pathetic little girls. I mean, I don't even... A lot of people see it that way. I don't know what planet you guys live on. I mean, there's just all of these. That was Lucky complaining about you asking him to pull me over all the time. Everybody knows about the pullovers. I'm going to repeat myself, Mr. Slow, mentally slow. Write this down. Everyone knows you try to have me targeted for a pullover. There's a whole fucking album on it. You want my car gone because you think if I'm broke enough, then I'll lie for you and I'll be, subjugated. Can we get her to mind us? How did she find out? Ask Charles. He knows how. He knows exactly how. There is a whole fucking album on it. Get her driver's license, get her computer, take her car away, subjugate, force, coerce, make her lie. Make her be trafficked. All the car accidents. It's not legal, but I'll have her car towed and sold before she figures that out. And Calvin was recorded talking to, I think, Ray, that works for Good Deal, my car guy, Mo. Because of the manifold something. I'm not going to give you list price for it. I can't just unload that car once you steal it. Okay, every time you contact me, every time you invade my privacy, they invade yours. Every time you cause a problem for me, we find out more. Add Tiffany to that too, and add Mike Neely to that too. Don't fucking cause any more problems. Get the fuck out of our lives, and you go live yours. Get a schedule, Mr. Perry, with normal activities of doing things normal people do, because you need the alibi. You need to be in Lubbock, and you need to be seen, and you need to be seen with your wife, Jacqueline, and your daughter, Jordan, and your son, Matthew, not bothering me in Oklahoma. Because people are starting to ask questions. When's the last time you saw him in Lubbock? Gosh, it's been a couple of years. I thought you were good friends. I did too. I guess, I don't know. And when's the last time you saw him with his wife, Jackie? It's been a while. There's no laws governing concubines. I did not agree to that. I don't want a fucking thing to do with you, stalker. You're just a pathetic little reject, too stupid to figure out how to move on. Too pathetic and lame to figure out how to grow up and act like a fucking man of your age and fuck off and move on. You're not wanted, you're told on, and that's all you have to show for the last 13 years of your life. You chase that lie, we get more truth. Cause and effect, same and different before and after. Come on, this is first grade. This is first grade. I'm not a special ed teacher. And you need to remember who it is you're talking to. I got this before. David, Calvin. She just ain't broke enough yet to lie and be trafficked. Papa John's is when you make delivery of a trafficking victim. Name one other victim that has that. But from getting it from me. Probably Tiffany knows now, since of me. Hansel and Gretel, Rapunzel, Ratatouille, take her to dinner. Get information on our car when you take her to dinner. See if you can't get her to go home, to get her a home address out of that. You wanted me to have a flat tire, Calvin, so your guy would be following me and pull over and take me to the club so he could call you and say, here, I took her to the club. She's at the club. Right? We heard the whole conversation, Calvin. Bald, fat Calvin. Right? This is the McNamara email. This is what I have to go tell my son. He's threatened to false arrest me. I may not come home from work tonight. Joe might have Hunter put a little something in my drink. I mean, I'm sorry, Joe, but you're a grown-ass man. You do that, quit being a coward and a pussy. If you do it, then don't get all upset if people start talking about it because they don't like it. All of these are about pulled over. Pull her over. Pull her over. Pull her over. Pull her over. Pull her. Golly. Get a life. Get a life. Have my taillight taken. Fix your taillights in. They took it out because they want you pulled over. Lucky hated that. Lucky did not want to do that. How many times did you say tell you, I'm not going to harass her for you? And they said they wanted to get her on harassment, but she never called us. They called us constantly. I have real crimes to deal with. You're wasting my time. We hear that a lot too, Mr. Perry. Gotta repeat yourself for that guy, and it's a waste of time. That one. Just Christmas Center. A lot of people were mad about that. My ex-husband was with my granddaughter, not his. That is not his granddaughter. That is my granddaughter. So what he's doing right now is really just being nice to make up for that, because I don't have to forgive him for that. I did. But he should have never done that to me. Never, ever should have done that to me. My ex-husband, I did not have an affair on my ex-husband. My ex-husband did something that caused our divorce. I did not. I didn't have an affair on him. There's nothing like that. He did something abusive. And it ended our marriage. Okay, none of that is your business though, is it? Either way, he's not the problem. That he came up this weekend and fixed something on my car that now makes it safer for me to drive it. The little old beat up car I'm stuck with now since you took my other one. And you got my car guy involved because you got your false... Okay, my car guy's in as much trouble as you because you presented to him a forged document and he didn't bother to check with me and say, did you sign a marriage license and a power of attorney? Because your stalker is coming in here wanting information. And I told him the first time I met him, I would like to buy a car from you, but I gotta trust you. Because I have a stalker that goes around and causes problems for me. Big ones. Big, huge, massive loss problems. He's pathetic. That's what stalkers do. They're just troublemakers. And we get information, Mr. Perry, because everybody's sick of your creepy problem. You're weirdo. You are as weird as they get. You are weirder than the weird. And you are all the problems. Everybody's sick of the problems. It's always something. Nobody cares what you think. You were not asked. We're all sick of hearing what you think and how you feel and what you need. Everybody's concerned about what the victims feel after having suffered so much at your hands due to your terrorizing and horrifying everybody. No one cares what the offender feels when he gets caught. Does Judy understand that? She needs to. So, and so does Mike, what's his name? The guy, the Walton and Reed. Those two sheriffs need to understand that, as does TPD. We don't call locals, don't need to. I got this. I'm doing the, look, I'm the one doing all this. I have help. Somebody got that from somewhere. Somebody told me you called Mike's husband and said you're making problems. He's not making problems. You are. So, don't ever do that again. Somebody told me, got it from with where you are. She just ain't broke enough yet. Right? What's it to you where I live? I don't bother you. You're bothering me. Perry was never invited here. Leave everybody the fuck alone. What is your stated goal? Because ours is collect evidence, get a conviction. We don't have to deal with this anymore. There won't be any more problems. There won't be any more harassing and intimidation and coercing and all that. All that's done. You're gone. We won't have to deal with it ever again. Troublemaking, making conflict between people that wouldn't fight otherwise. All that's done. We don't have to deal with it anymore. Nobody's gotten closer to that goal than we have, and you need to remember who it is you're talking to. And once I say no, that's it. My answer is no. I said no, Perry. You're the offender. You're the one getting told on. Nobody will help you. You know who it is. How they get the information like this and the McNamara email and all that and give it to me, that you don't know. None of your business. It's none of your business. Everybody just wants you gone. Why can't you get that? We get it easier. The worse you make my life. The more you try to contact me. The more you invade my privacy. And if you didn't invade my privacy, you wouldn't see things like what I watch on TV and then start making phone calls to that. At Bobby Brown, is it you? How do you do that? I'm a sex weirdo and I can't control myself. Are you helping somebody catch me to put me in jail? We'll make it worth your while if you'll tell me anything, everything. I mean, I'll make it worth your while if you'll help me cover it up. How do you fucking make that kind of phone call?
I can't live here anymore because you stalked me. That's why
No. Just go.
leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No,
I'll leave you alone.
0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you again. I don't ever want to hear your voice, see you. Please,
What
God
happened?
bless you, but
What
please leave
happened?
me
What'd
alone.
you tell? That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Alright, so if you have to alter evidence to frame me for a murder, and the police investigating you found that out, and found out you drugged Mike, and that Gene Mitchell was gonna lie. Right? Didn't they tell me to go text him? Let's look at it. Let's see what we can do to help Mike. We know he didn't do it. You better know what we know, because it's gonna come out in your criminal case. It's gonna embarrass the fuck out of you guys local. If you have to change evidence, she didn't do it. You've excluded her already. And how many times have you guys said she was supposed to be in jail and not able to talk about this and tell on us? Yeah, we've heard that one too. In jail for what? You want to intimidate. You want to coerce. It's just another crime. It's just another... my guys are going to get you. I mean, they're getting the evidence, right? Charles knows who it is. Ask him.
That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone.
All you want.
I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey men, leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior. And you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public. It doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is Bacon.
Alright, so if you had to alter the evidence, the thing is, on the night of the crime, her hair was still yellow blonde. Mine's still white blonde. She's still quite a bit heavier than me, and I've never been there. I don't even know who it is and how they died. They didn't tell me that. And the girl is Tanner on the day of the crime. Now, after the fact, dumb David comes around and goes, oh, let's change everything after. How long after, David? Let's alter the evidence after. Because it doesn't change it on the day of the crime, dumb David. And Richard's like, you guys ran her friends off. She didn't have any people for me to go to and say, have you been to this location with her ever? Because they ran her friends off. She doesn't do anything but go to the grocery and to work, and that's it. Once in a while, her ex-husband comes to town and takes her to dinner. He ran everybody else off, and now you're trying to run him off too. Ooh, you caused problems. Too many. No, he didn't. You did. I wouldn't have gone anyway. I wouldn't. If you guys have sat there, Dickie, I guess, is the one that gets me. He's told you and told you and told you and told you and told you. If she knows you're going to do something to her, because those guys tell her, they're getting that information from you and disseminating it to everybody in the need to know. 12 of those people are reporters, 3 not in the United States. They all heard you talking about it. Okay? I'm one of those people. So, he said, she will starve, but she will hunker down. She won't go anywhere. And you guys have said it over and over. You've been recorded. We gotta keep her from hunkering down. We gotta make it where if she wants to eat, she's gonna have to go out. So we can do to her like we did Mike. It'll go to Pensacola, Mike. It'll be fun. Yeah. I don't think he thinks so now. Do you? You're very hated people. Everybody's really wanting to know how the victims feel about the loss you've caused us. No one gives 2 fucks about what the offender feels about getting caught. Normal people are sick of y'all. Sick of you. And we don't call locals. Don't need to. Never have. Never have needed it. Had they done their job, Lucky might be alive right now. We didn't get the brick you threw at me before, and we didn't get that. 98% is pretty fucking good, though, don't you think? And I'm not told everything. I'm told what I need to be told. So over the last 2 days, I haven't needed to do a podcast. Doesn't mean we haven't heard you. I heard you talking about the Navy this morning. Okay, but mostly I'd only try to pay attention to the threats. If there's a threat. Sometimes we just don't. I just change my plans. The thing is, here's the thing though, is we know what you're going to do beforehand. And then either we change the plan or let you do it knowing we're going to use it against you in your criminal case. There's always a plan. There's always, before you do something, if you think we get information like that nobody else has gotten before, if you think they don't have a plan every time they catch you up before, whether we say something about it or not, you're off your nut. You are really stupid. You're a lot stupider than we thought. Every single time they catch you talking about doing something to me, there's a plan. And the plan is either say something about it before and then we'll do XYZ with it, or let's not say anything. Let's see if they do it and then we'll do XYZ with it. When you talk about it one time, that's all we need to prove malicious forethought and premeditation. Your intent was malicious. You wanted to cause a problem. And you did. Sometimes you got caught before and you did it anyway. So it's going to be really hard to go, I didn't mean to. Yeah, cuckoo bird. Cuckoo bird is not as cuckoo as he wants everybody to think. Because you keep trying to make me lie, which means you know you have a crime to cover up. And the more you chase that lie, the more truth comes out, bitch. You just, I don't know. On some things, you need a special ed teacher, and I'm not one. So bother somebody else with that.